I just stretch myself and go someplace that, one, I don't know the language, two, I'm unfamiliar with the culture, and three, just wanted to be as exploratory as I can with my experience. And I got to learn a new language, and I think that it was kind of all of what I wanted from abroad.
For example, I took a history of anti-Semitism class, and we would talk about these historical dates that happened, and we would talk about them, and then they would be like a 10-minute walk from my campus, like these holy sites and stuff. And also I took a reporting armed conflict class about the Middle East, and we went on a tour of the old city.
School life in Hebrew U was pretty much the same. Go to class, and we had our little cohort from Rothberg, so I didn't really interact with the Israeli students when we were taking class, because that was all international. But every morning you'd go through security, which was a little different. Campus felt similar to this. You see the students walking around.
The way of teaching there was different. Since I was in the international school, there were students from all around the world, so a lot of people had different levels of English comprehension, so I think that it was harder to teach for those kind of students. But I did like the classes. They were very specific to Israel. I know I couldn't take those classes anywhere else, which I liked.
Yeah, at the beginning it was a little intimidating, coming from a completely no understanding of Hebrew, the completely new alphabet. You get lost, but the summer intensive language helped me go and feel more confident, and I felt the barrier, but I didn't let that hinder my experience. Living in Israel, we stayed in the student dorms. It's called the student village, which was pros and cons to it. Pros, I lived with all my friends. Cons were a little bit far away from the action.
Yeah, so the light rail is like a 5-minute walk from the dorms, takes you right to the city center of Jerusalem. Really consistent, really clean, easy system. And there's also buses that take you all around the city, which also were very reliable. And then getting to other parts of the country, there was lots of buses and trains that you could take that were also really reliable, pretty cheap. The program that UCEAP sets us up with, the student life program at the Hebrew University for the international school, had a lot of fun activities that they would take us on, trips on the weekends to different parts of the country, and a lot of food tours and stuff.
Through the program, I definitely remember towards the end just wishing I were back home, especially it was New Year's, and I was counting down the days, engaging in those moments where I felt stuck or alone, and just kind of live in that and tell myself it's okay to have those feelings.
And yeah, I met some really great people from all around the world. I think that was the biggest shock that I realized, was that people from all around the world were studying here. It wasn't just fellow Jews like me, or people just curious about the country. It was just people from all around the world that just wanted to be in Jerusalem.
I definitely recommend going abroad through UCEAP, just because the transition and the staff and all the academic nitty-gritty elements were smooth.
Prepared us a lot. There was lots of orientations before, there's a lot of nitty-gritty paperwork before that you have to go that seems exhaustive, but when you're there it really helps to be this informed and ahead. Having an advisor in Israel that helped me with all my classes and everything was also very nice. And
just go for it. Don't put any expectations into your experience or the place. Go into it being curious, open-minded. Just go for it.
Just be easy on yourself, I think. It was challenging, I never felt so lonely in my life, and never so isolated in this new country all alone, but I grew from it obviously. But just be patient with yourself when you are adjusting to the culture shock and the new environment and the new school system and new friends. Yeah, do it. What is there to lose? It's a really special opportunity to be able to do it, to go abroad, wherever the world takes you. You should just